Today, we're diving straight into the ultimate intersection of sporting legacy, unbelievable celebrity, physical fragility, and a whole nation's desperate hope. We're talking about Neymar Jr. and the absolutely incredible gamble the Brazilian national team is taking on him right now. It's the question on everyone's mind. Can a fragile superstar end Brazil's 24-year World Cup drought? The entire footballing world is watching, waiting to see if a guy defined just as much by brilliant records as by devastating injuries can carry Brazil on his back one last time. Part 1, the 2026 World Cup Stakes. To understand the sheer weight on Neymar's shoulders, you've got to look at this eerie historical echo. Brazil is, of course, the most successful team in World Cup history with 5 titles. But get this, they haven't won since 2002. That is a massive 24-year drought. Now, the last time they endured a drought that long was between 1970 and 1994. And where exactly did that drought end? The USA. Fast forward to 2026, and here we are, with the World Cup final set to be hosted in, you guessed it, the USA. I mean, the history is literally writing itself here. Enter Brazil's manager, Carlo Ancelotti. When he announced the 26-man squad in May 2026, he made his mindset crystal clear. He said, a perfect team doesn't exist. I think a more resilient team can win. He's not looking for flawless execution, right? He's prioritizing pure resilience. Taking Neymar, a guy who hadn't even been called up since 2023, was a massive calculated part of that strategy. But right now, wow, that gamble looks incredibly perilous. So here's the current situation. Neymar is sidelined. He picked up a grade 2 calf injury playing for Santos on May 17th. Because of that, he's already missed Brazil's 1-1 draw against Morocco in New York, and he is officially out for the remaining group matches against Haiti and Philadelphia and Scotland and Miami. Part 2, the peak and the party. Let's step back for a second to remember why a 34-year-old injury-prone player is still so absolutely vital to Brazil. 122 goals. That was the staggering reality of Messi, Suarez, and Neymar back in the 2014-15 season. Barcelona won the treble that year, La Liga, the Copa del Rey, and the Champions League. And that attacking trio was just utterly unstoppable. They scored the highest number of goals by any trio in a single Spanish football season, ever. Neymar was quite literally at the absolute peak of the global game. And that immense, once-in-a-generation talent led directly to this number. His world record €222 million transfer to Paris Saint-Germain in August 2017. To put that into perspective, this move didn't just shatter transfer records, it fundamentally shifted his entire status. He went from being an elite athlete to a global megastar overnight, creating a personal brand that completely transcended the sport itself. But, you know, with that megastar status came a totally different lifestyle. His former PSG teammate, Thomas Munoz, saw this firsthand. He talked about how they'd hire a palace or hire a whole building for outrageous birthday parties with hundreds of guests. As Munoz put it, you see that they're more than footballers, they're stars. It really highlighted this intense duality. You've got Neymar, the fiercely ambitious athlete, on one hand, and Neymar, the massive celebrity, on the other, whose life off the pitch could sometimes be a real distraction, something even his former coach, Thomas Tuchel, admitted. Part 3, Chasing Pelé Ghost. This brings us to a really incredible intersection of history. For 61 years, the legendary Pelé reigned supreme as Brazil's all-time leading international marksman. But then, in September 2023, during a World Cup qualifier against Bolivia, Neymar did the unthinkable. He scored his 78th and 79th goals, officially breaking Pelé's record. Think about that. Despite all the injuries, despite all the critics saying he was too fragile, Neymar mathematically became the greatest goal scorer in the history of the most storied national team on earth. But the connection to Pelé doesn't just end on the pitch, in a frankly staggering off-pitch move. NR Sports, which is the company owned by Neymar's father, spent about 95 million Brazilian reais. That's roughly 18 million US dollars. And what did they buy? They acquired the rights to the Pelé trademark itself. No way, right? Neymar's family empire literally bought the brand of the only player who casts a larger shadow in Brazil than Neymar does. Part 4, the brand and the drama. Now, as his historical legacy grew, his personal life got, well, increasingly complex. Off the pitch, his family tree is highly publicized and constantly expanding. He's a father to Davi Luca with Carolina Dantas, Mavi with Bruna Biancardi, Helena with Amanda Kimberly, and Mel also with Biancardi. And now, he and Biancardi are expecting baby number 5. This constant whirlwind of personal milestones keeps him squarely in the global spotlight and absolutely fuels his massive social media reach, even on the days he isn't lacing up his boots. Professionally, though, his recent years have been undeniably chaotic. Just look at this timeline. He signs a massive deal with Saudi club Al Hilal in August 2023. A month later, boom, he breaks Pele's record. But then tragedy strikes, an ACL and meniscus tear in October 2023. It was devastating. He ended up playing a grand total of only 7 matches for Al Hilal over a year and a half before they mutually terminated his contract in January 2025. So what does he do? Desperate to prove his fitness and secure his spot for this 2026 World Cup, he makes a highly emotional return to his boyhood club, Santos, in January 2025. This is the exact same club where he scored 136 goals as a youngster. After 11 years away, he returned specifically to prove to the world, and most importantly to Carlo Ancelotti, that his body could still actually handle the grueling rigors of professional football. Part 5. The Final Gamble. Which brings us right back to the present. Because of that recent calf injury, Brazil's medical staff has implemented a highly cautious 3-step strategy. Step 1. Rest completely during the group stage. They are totally willing to sacrifice his presence against Morocco, Haiti, and Scotland. Step 2. Achieve pain-free full fitness in training through gym-based rehab. And Step 3. Return exclusively for the knockout rounds. Guys, this is a massive risk. They are betting absolutely everything on the team surviving the group stage without their all-time top scorer, just so they can unleash him when it's do or die.